All right, still listening to the Max Drive right here with Simon, the Net Blaster, and Debbie. And of course, we're having a great time right here in the studio. And yes, today is fully packed because we're having lots of companies on the show today. And right now, we have someone who is also right here with us in company. Yes. And I don't know if I tell you to guess, I don't know if you can guess right. But right now, no need for you to guess. We're going to be unveiling the person to you at this point in time. So, Debbie, do us the honors.
Oh, my goodness. This is one person I am super excited to talk to. He's one big giant in the Nollywood, in fact, in the movie industry in the world.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to movie industries globally, Nollywood is top 2, top 3. You cannot take us away from that equation. So you can't just say, oh, Nollywood, when you're mentioning people from this side of the globe. So you've got to say a global superstar.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. He's paid his dues. He's put everything into his craft, and we're here to celebrate and also talk about his latest project. Let's welcome into the studio Nigeria's finest, one of the most handsomest. Let me blow his horn.
Calm down,
It's actually calm down. We're not calm down. Let's welcome into the studio Jim Iyke.
Thank you for having me, Simon. Debbie,
It's good. It's
and
good.
yeah,
It's
a
good
pleasure.
to see you
It's a pleasure.
finally.
Thank you.
You look good.
Thank you, sir.
You guys.
Are you sure you're in this economy?
I took a different route, my brother.
But he's also expanding. He's expanded his role. He's not just in front of the camera. He's now stepping behind the camera to also put out, content. And how does that feel being a producer right now?
I know it's I think this is our 10th effort. I produced a couple of movies. My aunt is a pastor in London. So there was a time I went over there and we did 2 Christian films that I produced. I think that's where I cut my teeth, so to speak, and put it out. But we put it out in churches, Nigerian churches in London. And that's why I started getting the knack of it. And by the time I came back home, I think I spent a year and a half. By the time I came back home and we started in earnest, we put out another one called Color 25 when I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta then to get my postgraduate and do 1 or 2 things. And of course, I just newly got married and I was raising my son. So we had another one over there. Post that came down to Nigeria, and then back comment happened, which you were preview of. We had a whole this Debbie. I have a history with Debbie on my people. So Debbie held me hostage outside the ambassador of Tanzania's home, where I was the guest for the night. Said, I'm in the evening, I must have an interview. So I blocked the man's gate. I had a 1-hour interview while His Excellency was upstairs wondering what's going on with this guy, So yeah, we did that. So this is, I think, my 6th effort. Of course, the biggest project I've handled so far. So I've cut my teeth and come to understand fully what it is. The difference, of course, is in front of the camera, you are the attention. Behind the camera, you provide the attention. So it comes with a different job description. One that's extremely intense. You must be a people's person. Must have extreme managerial skills, not just economically, culturally, socially as well, and psychologically. So a producer is the one that has a bit of skill across the entire spectrum of movie creation. He has to have a bit of everything, a bit of knowledge. So that's what I had to go out there and acquire knowledge on almost every nook and cranny of movie making.
Jim Iyke, your, should I say, how long you've been in the industry is definitely something that people have followed. Some people would say you were their childhood crush or something.
Some everybody's crush.
Something like that.
I'm used to it.
So if you go online, I'm sure there's so much information about to learn about Jim Iyke. But what is the biggest misconception of Jim Iyke that you still see perpetuated, that you still see on social media being talked about? Jim Iyke is this, Jim Iyke is that, but that's not true. So what's the biggest misconception of Jim Iyke that you want people to get straight?
I think they think I'm a public person. I'm an extrovert. Extremely. I think I'm a career introvert. People spend resources to be seen. I spend resources not to be seen. I think the people also on my understanding of success is totally the adverse of others. Why people want to be successful and want people to see them, when they want all the attention, the cloud chasing and the virtual signaling. I think the more successful I am, the lesser I want to be out there. Seriously, and I do everything in my power. I think that's where there's a sort of reverse psychology to the understanding of my persona. While people just have a certain notion about people in the arts or in entertainment generally, I know a good number, well, a fair share of people that just want to come into the show when it's necessary, under the glow of that light when it's necessary. Otherwise, they are extremely contented just being with family, being with people they trust, and having the trust circles that they create with. That is, I think, the misconception people have. I love this. I've given my life to it, obviously. What I haven't come to terms with yet, I still grapple with, is the other part of it, which is the other side of fame, which has impacted me both negatively and positively. And when I came to take away the positive part of it, and primarily included being in a certain circle where people you trust can gravitate around you, and from there you become the pivotal force that you create outside with. I decided on the latter.
But there've been some sort of drama here and there.
Yes,
I mean, we can't
absolutely.
hide away from that.
No, you can't.
You can't.
In the beginning,
Yeah.
it had to be. I was trying to cut my teeth. I was still green behind the ears, and of course, I was still a little younger, less emotionally intelligent, and there's a spark of temper here and there I've been associated with. Yes, it's all the metamorphosis of being, and I welcomed it. I won't take anything away. You have to, how do you say, have an appetite for every bit of life to choose as you get older what part you must do. And someone asked me, my father asked me at some point, of course your parents will see the growth and the changes, that what do I regret or what do I miss about being out there in the spotlight all the time? I said, nothing. I don't regret anything in my life. Whatever is happening right now happened because something happened. And that's, I think, how God created. God shows you, I'm an ardent believer, trust me. God shows you every spectrum of life. It's just that some of us veered too far left, and then the recall is further than that it would take. The effort to recall is further than one we can deal with. But on the other side of it, I decided a long time ago that to have peace, you have to be extremely intentional. I'm a very willful person. I'm somebody that imposes my will in every pursuit in life that I go. If I want to be, that's why people like me can do drugs, because I'll be an addict in no time.
So there was never a time that happened in your career, because people would see your character in the movies and think, this guy must be happening behind the scenes.
Because you played so many roles,
Yeah.
the gangsters, the fighters, and all of that. So none of those things were closer to your real personality.
No. My home wouldn't allow it. I come from that's again when I reiterate the fact that your background, the effort of that states your groundedness is what informs what kind of life choices and values you place on yourself as you go. My mother wouldn't allow that. My father was extremely strict as well. Having said that, that is not the core reason. The core reason is it will never work for me. Trust me, it's not that I didn't try it.
You tried?
I tried. I did.
Because
I did the odd smokes. I did the odd drug, but it does not work for me. It just doesn't. It drives me crazy. I'll have headaches. I'll be sick for days. So early days, that the experimental days, I quickly came to terms with the fact that this doesn't work for me. Whatever trouble I got into in the past, I went into there with my open eyes, my heart open.
Was it under the influence?
There was absolutely everybody around me were under the influence.
Okay.
I rode deep then. I mean, when a Jamaica comes, there's a convoy, it's 19 people, it's taking over there, we're ready for trouble, we're also ready for peace, whatever part you want. But trust me, I was the only person on not under the influence there. They will tell you I'm a teetotaler. I haven't had a drink for years. I don't keep it. It just doesn't work for me. It's not for moral reasons.
So if you don't do all these things, and of course, it doesn't show like you had a background of all this stuff. So how did you grow to actually master the act of delivering those characters,
kind of characters and
in
roles.
movies, and you kill them?
Okay, so this is what it is. Until you come to that level where your acting chops is so believable, people think it's one and the same with your life. The word legend will always elude you. It's really that simple. My conviction, my acting came to power with that public persona, that conviction that people would see me and they'd be genuinely uncomfortable and afraid. I remember one time we're boarding a BA flight, and this gentleman was coming over to say hi. Was a fan. He'll come say hi. I noticed this lady will come drag me away. He'll find his way again. And finally, you know what he told me? He told me that his wife told him that he don't go. So I'm going near that guy, man. First of all, anywhere he's landing, I can promise you all the chicks around there will show up.
Oh, wow.
And then that's it. Except you're not into me anymore. And then secondly, there'll be drugs. There'll be, this kind of people.
Have you seen memes of yourself? There's one with what's his name? The actor
Is
that
it
they were.
Gideon?
No, not Gideon. My goodness, the name just escaped me. They were doing aura for aura. That's where the aura for aura came from. That they were staring at each other. Smoke was blowing out from their mouth.
Zubi.
Yeah.
No. Mike Ezironye.
Yeah, Mike Ezironye.
Mike.
That clip goes viral like every year. Like aura for aura.
That was just stupidity. That was just us. I mean, what did it even entail, for Christ's sake? What was the movie about? When two people are trying to kill themselves from cigarette smoke? He did not play. He didn't even have any depiction whatsoever in telling the story. It's just two dumb people standing around and acting like
something. So two of you decided on how that, or was it the director's
I started
choice?
blowing smoke in Mike's face. Mike said, I'm not going to back down. I'll blow
Then you
smoke back.
started.
Before you know, the dumb director said it looked like a good idea. Let me leave them. And it turned out to be an entire scene of two actors blowing smoke into each other's faces.
That was iconic. I will not lie. That is
Nice,
iconic.
making it meme.
Yeah,
Are you not bothered about the perception of people about you?
No, it doesn't. I think the one thing in life one people should definitely put very high in their list of values is the compulsion to be liked by people. You won't get anywhere, being
But isn't that what it
fixated.
means to be a popular figure? Because your validation comes from the number of people that come to watch your movies, the likes
People
and-
can respect you and still respect your art without liking you. And when I mean like, I don't mean you have to be a vile person. Be a good person. But again, if you're fixated on validation, if you're fixated on the court of public opinion, deciding everything, every nook and cranny you take in life, it doesn't work. The most successful people have absolutely no inkling to be liked, no compulsion to be liked. They just become themselves, and people that will like them naturally will like them. Let me tell you, people that dislike you no matter what you do. You can come out here, save her mom, breathe, CPR on her right now, she will survive. It will come out and wonder why it was you that saved the mom. I'm telling you that you can't function that way. The functionality of living your life, expressly, with the compulsion to be liked does not play out well for people. Just being you will find the circle of people that accept you, the circle of people that like it, the circle of people that will gravitate to everything you do.
If social media was right there at the beginning of your career, the way it is for so many young Nollywood, actors and actresses, if social media was right there at the start of your journey into acting, how do you think your career would have played out? Do you think it would have been the same, or do you think it would have helped it better? Or
No. I'm proficient, and I went with the times. That's why at this stage I'm still extremely at the top of my art, and I keep my body and mind extremely sharp in everything I do. I think it's just an added bonus. Don't forget, then the same hustle we put in. Yeah, some fell on the sideways. It's the same hustle I'm still putting in right now, except it's extremely aided by the extra, addition of social media. Then we had to do it manually. We had to do it through. You were, you're out there putting in the work. Now, if you understand how to walk social media, you might become social media famous. And again, that's why the times didn't test you, and you fall apart at the slightest sight of trouble or challenges. We were raised in the fire of it. We came out of the fire of it. We were forged in that difficulty, in that pressure. So nothing deters us. I don't see any life that I've lived that would deter me right now.
So you don't see it as a threat right now to maybe celebrities like yourself, because nowadays people are saying the new celebrities are coming from social media. They're skit makers. Movie stars are no longer the movie stars that we know back then, like your ilk from your own era.
No, you make it sound like some primordial thing that's going on. No, we're talking just recently where, the difference between us and whoever it is that is in this context or this nomenclature that you put out there is not more than a decade or so. So it's one and the same. It's only this nomenclature only creep up in Africa or Nigeria specifically, where people seek to divide and label different things. Do you hear old Nollywood and old Hollywood and new Hollywood? There's no such thing. It's just people are fixated and labeling and crowd pleasing. And at the end of the day, they come up with something that seems to label one in a rather derogatory way and another one as the immediate future of it. No, it doesn't work that way. In my context, it doesn't. I don't see threats. I see an emergence of new talents, like when we came up and people that came before us fostered us, showed us the way, and embraced us. Now, there's a difference because people don't want to have the same energy about it. They don't want to have the same goodwill about it. They see you more like a threat that, he has to give way for us to find our face. But no, it doesn't really work that way. Everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's on a different path. The sky is big enough for everybody. If you want to draw from my wealth of experience, of course I'm happy. And I'm not in that space anymore, so to speak. I'm not the actor that chases roles anymore. I provide them. So I give the jobs now. I'm an employer in this industry. I'm an investor in this industry of the highest ilk. Wow. So there's no how in the world I'm in competition with you. And there's no how you're in competition with me. I'm your big brother, for crying out loud. So there's no how I pay your salaries, So yeah, and whether and I'm an entrepreneur. When conversation is supposed to be had economically, they call me in. When they want to have conversation artistically, they call you in. And at the end of the day, without me, there will not be you, and without you, there will not be me. So it's a complementary effort, a symbiotic effort. People should stop using nomenclatures that cause division or whatnot.
I love that. Spoken like a true elder statesman in Nollywood.
True legend. Okay, so before we quickly move to the latest project you have on hand, let's talk about Nollywood a little bit. And so many things have changed over the years. But if you are actually to talk about the Nollywood of now and before, what significant change can you really mention that have happened in Nollywood?
The constant thing in life is change. If you don't adhere to change, if you fall on the wayside, I've adapted to change in different aspects of my life, and Nollywood is no different. People that are adverse to change or challenge change don't ever grow. Okay, the first place dreams go and die is comfort. So I've never been comfortable. I've always loved challenges. I love learning new things. I love to be updated, rebooted, re-challenged. It's easy to grow complacent once you attain certain levels in life. I feel I've attained it over and over again. The Nollywood of old didn't have the advantage of social media, of technology, of the advancement of AI and the rest. Accessibility into it has of course made our work a lot easier. I remember when we were shooting scene and I was doing my rewrite. I rewrite manually, no gadget. I like to rewrite manually.
Oh, wow.
Because the transition, and I'll tell you why. Don't get me wrong, I'm extremely proficient on laptops and the rest of the gadgets that aid human experience. But no, the point is that I like manual. The transition between your brains and your fingers to the pad it's seamless. Before you type and get your thoughts across, and trust me, it works in different human endeavors. For another person, to each his own, it might be a different experience. Me, basically, when ideas I begin to form in my mind, and when I lift a laptop and begins to type and begins to find files and begin to delete and begin to tuck it away, I lose it. You must find the craftsmanship that works for you, the medium that works for you, the pattern that works for you. This is the pattern that works for me. So I will write manually, then transfer to my laptop, and of course the editing starts from there, the grammatical correction starts from there before I begin to convey my thoughts and plans and vision to others that I will delegate to. At the point of delegation, one or two Gen Zs in my circle started bringing me up to speed that, hey, you don't have to do this or that. You can put it to correct it. ChatGPT can make this happen, can make that. And I sat down there and I said, wonderful. The original thought, no ChatGPT can replicate it. I'm born with it. Okay? Now, the transition from enhancing that idea, amplifying it, is where technology comes in place, which is benefit in my archives of knowledge. Now, one person on your team can expedite that work by 50% by just showing you a software, a new technology, or something on the table. So we work symbiotically. And that is where the old and new Nollywood comes to marry. And that's where you must appreciate the advancement. But I will tell you, there's nowhere in the world, with all your knowledge of technology, can you replicate what I have in my head.
So let me ask this in terms of quality of art, old and new.
Again, you persist on these comparisons. But it doesn't matter. It's right for you to ask this.
These are the conversations
No,
that
but
happen.
don't worry, my dear. I'm coming. These questions extremely relevant. I'm not refuting you. I'm saying you persist because it's necessary. Because again, these conversations, these arguments keep coming, and I think it's beginning to overshadow the real purposefulness of this endeavor, of this lifelong pursuit. Everybody is trying to demarcate, belong to a label, to glorify themselves. But no, it doesn't basically work that way. When I started out, there were people before me, Ramsey, Chidi Mokeme, Kate Henshaw, and co, that said he is going places. He's got amazing potential. Every time I would turn back and say, did I do it right? They would say, oh, yeah, do this, it will work. That was raw talent. It was benefit of experience, and the wealth that there's a certain wealth experience gives you. Understand that raw talent can, and that's why you have to keep polishing. You keep upgrading, keep updating, you keep going back to learn from people that have done this over the years. No matter how good you are, my dear, if you can't tap into that wealth of knowledge, you're always going to miss it. You're always going to fall short. Talent is not enough, my dear. It was never enough for anybody that was risen into greatness.
So would you say that back then that people needed godfathers and
no, you don't need. You just need to study somebody. So, you don't even have to present physically to the person. I've studied many people. I didn't have to be physically in their space too.
So there's nothing like cliques in the industry that you
there
have to go
cliques.
through.
There are cliques. It happens. I'm just a man. I was a man who was a lone wolf all my life. I'm still a lone wolf till tomorrow.
So you didn't belong to any clique.
Why do I don't belong? I am a clique.
So,
You got the key.
So belonging to a clique, what does it exactly do?
I'll tell you another thing. Being a lone wolf has its merits and demerits. There are people that form the coalition of sorts, a collaborativeness that actually helped. Because in today's world, and of course I've fostered this ideology even in business, I was so on my own, so intent on doing things by myself. I just didn't trust the human element or the human experience. Maybe one or two I had in the past, betrayal, backbiting, that said, listen, I can do this on my own. I don't need these people. And yes, I got so far. But in time in life, I think in my early 30s, I started this mentorship thing where I would seek out older gentlemen that have succeeded exceedingly in their life and ask them how they did it. And without recourse, none of them did it alone. They formed collaborations, they formed partnership, they formed unions. even as a couple, husband and wife, there was some sort of union that occurred before a certain level was accessed. And I started to understand that no, it's not about me alone. I only need to find people of like minds. Now, how do you find like minds? There are people that are into the loud, obnoxious, I want to show my wealth all over the place. If it works for you, if you're the loud sort, find other loud people. Make the noise together. People in a certain industry, in the entertainment or nightlife industry, they need to make noise. They need to be ostentatious, to be seen, to draw the clientele. Okay. Now, if you are the quiet person, the introvert that has to do things quietly under the radar, find like-minded people. By all means, find somebody that's of like mind with you, that can co-create with you, nurture your vision, and you go further together. So I am all about cliques and collaborations. It works, but let it be in the right nomenclature. Let it be for the right reason, for the right vision. If you're using it to antagonize another sect and call them names and say they're not up to par, that they're in the past, you're missing it.
So how approachable are you for?
I'm not approachable. I've never been. Why would I grant you access? So to get access, I have to see value. What are you bringing to the table before you approach me? Are you going to come to me because I'm accessible with nonsense? So if you come from, so I read people, I read the room. I've mastered the art of micro expressions. Before I walked into this room, I can tell you personally what everybody thought about me. And now it's now within my decision and my intention to decide if I'm going to move forward or I will take the value of what I've seen. See, when you meet somebody, let me teach you a quick thing. Once you meet somebody, look at their faces. Quick. There's a millisecond. It's always missed. The millisecond expression you see on their face portrays their true expression of what they think about you or how they value you. It's a fleeting emotion that plays across their face. It's been mastered by the KGB, mastered by CIA, mastered by master spies. Once you see somebody across the room, before you engage in a handshake, look at their face, their eyes. That fleeting thought is the exact thought of what they think about you. By the time you're shaking their hand, there's a smile, there's a presentation, there's goodwill, there's a social bearing now. He has camouflaged it. His true thought is in his heart.
Oh.
Okay? But if you're able to depict or read that first expression,
Okay.
that is value. That is extremely valuable information that you can use and understand to what extent you would deal with somebody.
So this lone, should I say lone wolfism that you
you've turned it into an ideology. That's actually cool.
Well, you're a fickle person, so it's not bad.
that you've this personality that you are. Did it come from your background, knowing that you were the only son?
Yes, I spent a lot of time. When
you were the only son and 8 sisters.
When you have 7 sisters, and you're the only guy, what are you discussing? Every time they're downstairs, they're with their mom discussing handbag, boyfriend, my dad as a husband, even me. I was subject for gossip every day. What am I going to sit down with? The only time I come down and mingle with them is when I want food. I'm Igbo, so it's extreme. We're culturally extreme. I remember the last time my dad caught me in the kitchen trying to cook up yam and fry eggs because I was hungry for hanging a day. I got a whooping for it. Oh. And then everybody was chastised, like, what is he doing in the kitchen? You're supposed to be, we're raised to be man. Okay? We have no business in the kitchen. You come down, get one of yours, even at the highest beef, feed him, then quarrel with him. Okay? So that was the idea. You're forced. So when you're in that state, 2 things happen. You become an extremely soft man because you're pampered and nurtured all through your life, okay? Or you become extremely hard because you become the provider early, the protector. I was the protector. I was the guy that went out there the football field when you talk down on my sisters. I'm coming for a fight.
Maybe that influenced
were you
able to embody those characters.
Well, that is your opinion of it, but it does help somewhat that you have good hands when it comes.
So would you then say that there's a soft side still?
There's always been a soft side.
So what brings out your soft side?
You just need to unlayer.
So what brings out the soft side in Jamaica?
What brings out the soft honesty? genuinity always bring out the soft side of me. Like I told you, do you know how many countries I've traveled the world? Obviously, there was a time I backpacked across Europe with I think there's this crazy German girl I was dating that time, and she suggested that's when we could fly economy, live in cheap hotels without being judged.
Wow, this happened when?
A long time ago.
Wait, which era was it? Is it Bad Boy Jamaica?
Yes, Bad Boy era Jamaica.
Okay.
And me and her, she came up with the idea. She didn't think I was going to go with it. And we backpacked. We stayed in the cheapest hotels. We took train rides. We hitched rides. There was a time we were between Frankfurt. We hitched rides. I had the best time of my life in that time. Now, the experience, the human experience of the different cultures, the multicultures that I met across the divide, forged my opinion of who I am. Seriously, because I came to meet people that want very little in life and are extremely happy. And then I met people that had extreme wealth and were extremely unhappy. So when I juxtaposed it, I started understanding the ideology of life where I have to meet myself between the logic and the surreal.
Well, you seem like you've settled into domestic life right now. We see you playing with your son. You're more open to posting on social media now.
Yeah, that was him though. He made me post it because that is our daily life that I don't feel I should share with the world.
Okay.
But now it's coming of age where he says, you know what, my friends show. I mean, their kids on this thing, they're always talking about, because I was there when there was a sleepover and all his friends were showing. I felt bad. All his friends were showing,
and he was not showing.
There's one of them that their dad is a pianist. He does concert. I was showing his kid always. I was like, why don't I ever get posted? You know, I'm like, damn, this boy putting me on edge right now. So the next day I got drilled. If you watch the pictures, you find out it wasn't posted like. It took a week. So I got drilled and questioned, and then there was a panel. Him and his friends sat down and said, listen, this is actually, why don't we ever get seen? I said, you know what, let me throw something out there. But that's my life every day. I'm hanging out with them. I have a great time with them.
So you're married, everything's going well. And
you're not even doing this properly.
Okay.
You don't have to delve into it and try to get me to give you information.
Just
on
putting
what
it out there. Because, I started by saying you're someone's childhood crush. And childhood crush have grown up. So
it's not that. It's not that. It's never been in that context for me. I just feel that there are three lives an entertainer or anybody in the public space or spectrum must live. Three lives. You must live the public life, the private life, and the secret life. If you want to survive, that's it. Everybody that brought a different life to the please, how many people in the public space survived? Marriages are crashing up and down. I had a whole divorce and nobody knew about it. And then I had my kids and nobody knew about it. I lived in a different country, nobody knew about it. I mean, I've lived a whole 10 lifetimes that nobody knew about. And somehow my names were still whispered in certain corridors. How do you get that to happen if you don't understand the nuances and the semantics of life? I live in the public space. What I share in that public space is the creative energy, is my genius. That's what I share. The private space is my business endeavors, my personal endeavors, and people, the small space of people, not more than 3 or 4 all over the world, that really, really take an interest in what I do, that protect me and vice versa, including my extended family. The secret life are children, are private people that came into my life that I've sworn to protect no matter what. My kids can run around any mall anywhere. Nobody photographs them or talks about them because you don't see them. You don't know them. They can make all the mistakes and fail as much as they can in life and rise up again because nobody's going to judge them. I owe them that. And I feel every parent should protect their child like that. It's not, there's certain part of my life that is not open for narration in the public space. The people you entertain in the public space, how many of them led you to their life as well? Think about that.
Okay.
Well, speaking of something to think about and something to watch as well, we are setting our seats right.
Them is mad she didn't get an answer to a question.
No. But you know what? I feel like that will come out soon in your own time.
Yeah,
in your own time.
Always in my
we'll
own
open
time.
the door to
Always
the secret life of Jamaica.
Always in my own time.
Okay. Well, let's find out what Sixth Sense production, of which you're in charge of, has been up to, which is the movie Sin. It's an action thriller. And when you look at the trailer of the movie, that's all you get. Nothing really gives you a hint about the stories of the characters. So now that you're here, maybe you can fill in the gaps. What is Sin? Aside it being an action movie, what is it really about?
Sin is an experience. It's not to be defined or explained. Truthfully, I wrote, led, produced, executive produced this. So, by all intents and purposes, it's a vision that I birthed, and this is what Sin is about. I think it's the span of my creative experience, and this is how my creative experience happens. Whenever I want to create, I don't want to make movies, the slapstick movies where people can go into the studios or theaters, laugh their brains out, activate their dopamine, and then come out feeling good about themselves. No. I provoke debate, I shift paradigms, I provoke people at the helm of affairs to have conversations. I want people to rethink. I want you to exercise the knowledge of self, whether you know who you see in the mirror every day. And I think that's what I should be. It should be hated. It should be liked. It should provoke conversation. And that's what I create. The last time that you sought me out in a foreign land to have a conversation, something moved you. I promise you, if it was one of those slapstick movies where you laughed your head off, you would not insist on interview because you're highly intelligent. You understand this is an ecosystem that is barely delved into, that's barely challenged. And that's what we did with Backcom. We delved into the social media ecosystem and questioned people's existence and addiction to that tool. What even the creators of the tool said that is a runaway experience that went from a social experiment to a full-blown catastrophe. People are killing themselves now through the social media. They're bullied and taking their lives in there. People are waking up every day and it dictates the barometer of their emotions, whether they should be happy by account of invisible people that like their post. They validate their human experience by how many people. I've seen people that say they are cutting off their parents and other siblings. It was one of those because they don't have enough followers. It becomes the new parameter, the new measure for cultural coolness and cruelty even. It doesn't work that way. So we made a film about that. Sin is the same, in the same vein. The drug epidemic is at our doorsteps. We're just sweeping under the rug, under politics, distractions, sports, and entertainment, and all what you have. No, it's there. We're not a hub anymore. We're not a transit country. We are the destination. Recently, NAFDAC, or one of these parastatals, security parastatals, burnt acres of marijuana. Burnt it. So you're trying to tell me that the people in their home affairs are not aware something like that exists? I'm telling you, I see it as blatantly as it is. The tri-states of Gambia, Guinea-Conakry, and Senegal. This is where the poppy fields are. This is where the drug is created to be exported just across the pond to Italy and the rest of the European states. So the consumerism is here now. The barons are dealing here is less competitiveness. There's a society that totally lives by these drugs. That their social lifestyle composes of these drugs. So it is what it is. That is what sin is about. I delved into a society that swept a certain part of our lives under the rug and refused to deal with an epidemic that's upon us, where it is generally taking over the populace of a nation that is vast majority are young.
Well, your cast has a very mix of established and rising stars,
which is what we always do.
Yeah, so you have Chidi Mokeme, you have Kelechi Udego, who I love so much. He's when it comes to facial expressions, it's always very funny. And you have Tony Tones, who's also in the movie. So how was the experience like putting this cast together? Why did you decide on who and putting everything together?
The good, the bad, and ugly. That's what you get when you put together a cast. There are people that question their validity to this. There are people, and don't forget that I'm in the economic sector of things now. And every time I come to the artistic, I have to ask questions. I have to delegate. I have to listen to other people's opinion. So I have 4 producers on this set. over 2,000 actors worked for me on this set with over 168 crew members over the course of 3 months in 3 countries. Managing all of that needs, you have to get second opinion now and then. So whenever they sit down, I'll say, research this person. I mean, who can do this? So we have like 5 people that is brought to me, and then usually when we check, 3 or 4 may be busy or it can't work without time, or fees may be the issues. There must be enough option. So usually when we narrow our options to the last person, my question is, I put them through the test of, what I like to call the G-Mike test. Like, can this person, is this someone we can work with? Is it someone that won't give us trouble? Because don't forget the economic, social, cultural situations, even religious situations to deal with. There are certain people that practice certain belief systems that they can't do intimacy, they can't do, you take all this into inventory before you take a decision. So, and sometimes I allude decisions to my producers. That's why you hire them, right? And my idea of leadership, what has made me extremely successful in my leadership and every endeavor, even when I go into, I'm mostly a builder now, I'm mostly into real estate. I bring people that know a certain skill set that I don't have and get the hell out of their way and just let them do what they do. I used to micromanage, watch, breathe down people's neck, give you an instruction, delegate, and follow it up on it to the letter. I don't do that anymore. The more I understood how it works, this is how it works. So I think that is how our creative process is and the process that we use to choose our talents.
So when is the movie coming out and where?
First, part 1, First Kill, comes out 24th of July this month. Part 2, Blackout, comes out 22nd August on all Prime Video platforms.
Okay, so it's an online, you can watch it.
Yes, it's all strictly streaming. It's an Amazon original. I failed to mention that it's the first full-blown action Nigerian Amazon original.
So it's full-on action.
Full action. First multi-million-dollar movie, full-blown.
Multi-million-dollar movie.
Yes.
So are you jumping up buildings, Jim-Hike, in this?
I did so many crazy things, but I'm extremely in shape. I'm always in the gym. I don't, everything my body did in its twin, because I didn't abuse my body. I didn't drink. I didn't overdo things.
So in this movie, we're going to see you going full on Tom Cruise.
I don't know about that crazy dude. I'm not going to be jumping no plane for nobody. If somebody put $100 million insurance on me, I'll say, okay. I mean, if I die, there's generational wealth. No, but I mean, the Tom Cruise narration is totally different from any human. We love him for it.
Okay, massive one right there. Someone actually wrote here, do you train upcoming actors and actresses?
Why are you asking the obvious? I'm too busy. I can't even have enough time for myself.
Do you have a school? Do you have
because we have some of the actors that also have schools where they train.
I'm happy for them, my brother. I run businesses. I'm a CEO. I'm not a teacher, man. You want to tutor actors, don't you know where to go to? When I wanted to learn, I traveled to London. I went to film school, to New York, and
maybe you had the wherewithal to do that.
No, it's not.
But do you?
No, I was totally broke. I was semi-broke when I went there. I know. See, the will always find a way. I paid one tuition, got in there, and started hustling one way or the other, and found my way to pay the rest of my fees. Bro, there's a will. If you decide on the will, it's called laws of attraction. You attract what you want. You sit here at home and think it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. The first thing is action.
But do you open doors to new faces? Because
absolutely, you just commended me for a mixed cast, where I didn't sit down there and say only people in my cadre is going to come into this movie. I ask questions. Who is hot? I don't take hot people. I take people that can get the job done. I don't take famous people that people have blown. The people that don't deserve the blowing, like you said, social media blow. I don't go there. I find people that really can get their acting chops, adhere to instructions, and then correlate with a vision. That's another thing. When people think they're so good they can function on their own, keep functioning. When I want a team, I go for people that understand. So when I give instructions from a place of, I'm not trying to belittle your talent or what I give instructions from a place of being the custodian of that particular project, of having express knowledge more than anybody else. Don't forget that the pioneer of any idea is the one that knows best about it in every sense of the word.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a very wonderful,
Pleasure.
time with you right here on the show, Jimmy. And of course, you can check him out on the social so that you can follow up with whatever that is happening in terms of project and every other thing about it. So, Sin is the movie.
Yep.
So it's coming out later in the course of the month, according to you.
No,
So
yeah.
July 24.
Are people coming tomorrow? Tomorrow is the premiere.
Yeah, so
here.
tomorrow is the premiere.
Well, tour actually, we've done PH, Abuja, which was crazy. Abuja, Thunder and Mass. We're in Lagos now. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. at Terra Culture.
any tickets?
That's the official premiere.
No, we don't buy up the stadium, the theater. You just come and watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we can't wait to see Jim Mike, blow up the gangsters in Sin. I don't know if he's playing the bad guy or the good guy. We don't even know that yet. So maybe
you're the bad guy for real.
by the time we're done watching Sin, we'll come for him.